Welcome back to another episode of Day1Radio right here on Live Hip Hop Daily. I'm Maurice Garland in the building with my man BP. What's going on, man?
Ain't nothing, man. It's been a good week so far, man. Can't complain at all. One of my close homies hit me today, told me he got a job. He had been looking for a job for a minute, a good job in a power position at that.
Oh, wow, man.
Grandmother turning 90 this coming weekend, bruh. So it's been a good week, man.
Got a lot to celebrate.
Yeah, for sure. Can't complain at all. How your week been going, bruh?
Sure, it just started, man, so I don't know how mine's about to be, but it's usually good, man. You know what I'm saying? I always decide that I'm going to have a good week, and it usually turns out that way for me, man.
Most definitely. Now, y'all know us for, bringing on, celebs, people of influence and stuff like that. Me and Maurice had a discussion earlier this year, and we were like, man, we need to give our listeners some game. We need to be of service to them. And this brother that we got on today is somebody I encountered because I had a need, as most of us who were spending hundreds of dollars on oversized clothing in the 90s and early 2000s. I know I did. I'm guilty of it. And I had a lot of things I didn't want to get rid of. And I was like, I need a tailor, but not necessarily somebody who just does suits. That's cool too. I can rock in that lane too. But some of the streetwear stuff, some of the jerseys, things of that nature that I didn't necessarily want to get rid of. And through, my network, found this brother, man, the Stich doctor right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And lo and behold, I go in the other day to drop off a couple more pieces and we chopping it up. And this dude does way more than tailoring, man. This dude got products, has worked with 50, Rick Ross, Rich Homie Quan, Music Soul Child, professional athletes, politicians, the whole nine, man. So welcome to the show, bro.
Man, thanks, bro.
Of course, man. So
glad to be here.
For sure.
You're from Buffalo.
Yep, Buffalo.
Now, I know my man Dorian Forbes, director extraordinaire from Buffalo.
Dorian? Oh,
that's my guy.
Oh, you shook now. You got me shook right now.
Him, and Rick James, the only people I know from Buffalo.
No, the new guys, Conway.
Griselda. We fuck with boom.
West Side?
We fuck with Griselda heavy up here.
Okay.
So how did you end up getting into fashion in Buffalo? Like, cause you didn't start when you got to Atlanta. You started your whole situation before you even got here. So how did that happen? I
started just on the hustle, back. I don't even. It's funny because I'm just an artist.
Gotcha.
And everything I do, this is a good question you're asking me this one though. But I'm just an artist and a kid from around the way. I like to just find somewhere to get a hustle. So when I was younger, I was in college, dropped out of school, and my whole high school and grammar school career, upbringing of learning, I went to like a vocational grammar school, vocational high school for the art.
Gotcha.
Okay, and I used to draw. We used to draw. Make a long story short, we're gonna speed this up real quick. Just do little odd jobs for people in the neighborhood, like Christmas windows when I was 12, 10. Wow. Might start painting up at the top of the store. Yeah. 15, get a little $120. But my grandfather get mad because I wouldn't do the crib. You know what I'm saying? He like, I want you to do that garage.
Right.
And I wouldn't do it or something like that, or do a janky job, let him tell it. But that was my thing. I played sports. I went to the University of Cortland and so forth, and lost interest in sports and all that stuff. And when I got older, about 20, 21, and dropped out of school, just had to find a job, and just so happened, and it worked for me. I ain't gonna say it can work for everybody, but I got lucky and got a job through one of them temp agencies.
Man, those things used to be clutch, bro.
I got a job out of that, and I applied for a position saying I do art, like some type of art, and I literally just came home, a little bit of money and stuff like that, my sophomore year, and they said, this lady called me and said, I got this one job, you gotta go look at it, whoop. And they might need somebody who can do art. I went over there, talked to the guy, got the job. He said, we'll be painting handrails, like painting the handrails.
Right.
Make a long story short, we used to get the ink all over our clothes. And next thing you know, I used to use my grandmother. She was the best washer. She used to get my football jerseys, yo, so clean that when I go back on the field, bless her soul, boy, everybody know like, yo, does he sit the bench?
What you saying? No grass there.
Nah. So make a long story short, I got the job. When I got the job, I'm over there. We get stuff on our clothes and stuff. I used to take the chemicals and go back to the crib and be making off the chemicals from the handrails, put it on shirts and sell it to my boys. Or we getting ready to go to a party, we all want to have some fresh shirts on. Started doing that. Long story short, the company had a position for me. Well, not for me. That was open. I applied for it. It sent me to Toronto for a year of training, and then they sent me to Chicago. Like out there, and when I was on that whole journey, I met a girl from Toronto, and she just was like, yo, you're gonna be out there, you don't know nobody, you should stay your butt in the crib and just draw and do your stuff. You're already rocking shirts and doing all this. And she kind of moved her out, and we started making shirts. And next thing you know, getting them silk screened though, professionally.
Right.
I came up with a brand called No Names. Yeah. And I really popped off with that, and through that's how I got introduced to the sewing machine. I wanted to put the tags in our shirts. I wanted the joint to be official. You know, I used to, sit up and do like 1,000 shirts a weekend and just sewing.
Right.
You know, and I just looked at that still as art. And then I went from that to wanting to sew to make letters. And one of my stuff, people used to charge me $40 to paint the letters. I was like, how the hell they do that? How the hell they do that? I'll go to a fabric store, find some rug. Like this.
Cut it out, yeah.
Cut it out, put a little whatever, and then I started asking questions and kept asking questions like, what is that made with? How does this get done? And people would tell me, and I just kept trying to figure out a way to keep just being crafty. And next thing you know, boom, moved to Atlanta and came out here, Olympics and all that stuff, and opened a store, No Names, making stuff and making our own, but it was only our own brand. Did that to 2000, and we're here now with Stitches.
Got you. How difficult?
I hope I ain't go too long.
No.
Because I don't want every question going long like that.
That's a hell of a journey,
I
man.
might get winded. I was trying to kick it.
So for the No Names thing, man, you started off when a lot of the iconic brands that we know of started off. You know, the FUBUs, the K.R.I.T, things of that nature. At any point did you ever think, damn, I should have went to LA, I should have went to New York and popped this off? Or were you like, nah, this is cool, this is my journey?
I thought about it at times because we used to rock with them boys. FUBU, I remember when I got started doing the Black Expo with the No Names. And, you know, we jumped in there because our whole thing with No Names stood for us as black people being robbed of our identity. So it had a real strong message, and you know everything we was hitting our culture was about us as black people being robbed of our identity. Just showing different ways that hey, we never got just due, or how crimes and stuff haven't been clarified, and how also too you have premeditated murder. Just straight, you just murdering us, and you mentally thinking of this is what we gonna do,
right?
And so to keep us just aware, and so we used to go to the trade shows, the Black Expo.
Yeah,
I remember the Black Expo.
Yeah, the Black Expo. We went to the Black Expo, and I'd be like rocking with them boys, like coming out of there with good money, doing well for myself and for our brand, and they saw us, and but I was in Iowa. Still working at that plant out there, just, getting that consistent check. That was important. That was feeding. That's how I feeded the business. But, it was good. It was, I thought about it a few times. I heard, how they got sponsorships and stuff like that. But, hey, this is my journey. If I'd have probably went that route, I probably might not be sitting here talking to you. Right. I might not be the Stich doctor. Who knows what the heck would have popped off, because I definitely wasn't no Stich doctor back then.
Did you get advice to keep that consistent check? Because a lot of times when people come up with a creative idea, they jump out there like, oh man, this is it, I'm gonna start this business and I'm just gonna get it off the muscle, and they're like, I'm quitting this job, I'm gonna just trust the hustle. You know what I'm saying? Did you get advice to do that? Was that something you kind of like you saw yourself like, nah, let me keep this job so I can have something to, so I can have some money to support this thing?
That's a good question too, man. I got good questions. Well, my first go around with the no names, I have to be honest with you. I had my first wife. She was just very, business minded.
Gotcha.
But I had a real consistent job working with the plant. I've been there for about 8 years or 8 or 9 years. Consistent little check up, and I'm 20-something years old, getting a nice little pay. I think I was maybe getting like 50,000. 60,000, 50,000 or something, bring home probably 40 after taxes and stuff like that. So that helped me feed. That gave me the cushion if I need to go to the bank or go to a lending institution and ask for some money, because they're gonna be like, oh, he's working, he's making this amount of money, he can pay us back our money.
Right.
So that was the good side about things, and also too, I would say it was tough to take that leap. I took that leap. I left Iowa, moved to Atlanta, and I moved here because situation, she wanted to move here. I was content with just having a check. I ain't gonna lie, that's just how I was rolling. And she was like, well, I'm moving to Atlanta. It's the Atlanta, the Mecca, the black people, all that. I was like, and I was out in Iowa chilling with cows. And we out there with cows and stuff. But we got a fat crib, though, Like, we got the truck, we got the car, we got everything, But, I came out here and life immediately changed. Yeah, it changed, it was tough, it was let's put it like this, things just changed. Atlanta life got to us, and we didn't make it, but we still good friends to this day.
That happens.
Especially back then. I just going through some stressful times, in our situation. It was crazy. I was downtown driving. I think I was just down, just driving. I had access to I had the t-shirts and all that in the car, and I made a turn and I got stuck in traffic. And I looked over, saw a sign. This is a true story, and it said for rent, and that was the no name store. I called the dude like, yo, let me get this spot real quick, because she was like, why don't you call another escalator company? Why don't you try? And I tried it. Nobody down here was picking me up like, yo, we want you to work for us. So
where was the store at? I'm curious, man. Like, where?
On Poplar Street.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, right across from the street from Georgia State.
Okay.
So, we did pretty decent over there. It was a struggle because it was an alley, and it was it was no names.
Yeah, I mean, Poplar Street is still an alley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was in the alley. That's where I started at. I started in the alley in Atlanta. I'm kind of OG. That's when we had. I think the biggest thing I had Crisscross come through. I was like, yo, Ludacris. I remember one time he came in. He wasn't Luda. He was Chris Love. Him and what's his manager's name? Shaka Zulu. They was downstairs talking about a deal for the Olympics. Trying to get the whole, because people was getting blocks, trying to throw block parties. Everybody was coming up with these crazy big ideas. That's what I love about us as people, man. We could come up with some brilliant ideas. Like, it was crazy. So, it was good times.
So how did the whole rebranding of the brand and rebranding of yourself come about?
I would say that came about after just going through. We closed the store. We did like 5 years over there. Changed. Next thing you know, a club opened down the street.
Right.
Karma. Okay. And they said these little wild parties down there with this guy from England named Pablo. And Pablo heard about my store, and he just moved on the block. And it was so funny because I've been on the street for 5 years. Nobody's on the street.
Right.
From Peachtree Street all the way down to Cone Street, there's nobody but on the street that's like doing anything, that's like kicking it, like, yo, like. And next thing you know, this guy pops off on our street named Pablo from England. He was cool. He had this party called the Mark and all this stuff. And
I remember the Mark.
Yo, he was cool. He when he met me, he was like, I had to find out who was this guy named Tony from No Names on this street, because every time I say I'm on Poplar Street, everybody would say, oh, you near Tony? You near No Names? And next thing you know, he was like, I'm giving you an exclusive pass into our party. Okay. And when he said that, like maybe a month later, the store closed, and I became a promoter. With Pablo. Yo, he turned me on to another angle of trying to just market, and find stuff and do stuff. And man, when I got into that life, I was like, whoa! I just kind of literally stopped doing the clothing brand and started doing like, one-on-one pieces for him when he having his little events with like maybe Jamie Foxx or something like that.
Right.
Or if somebody's gonna have something, they might be like, oh, well, anything that had to do with fashion, Pablo gonna be like, talk to Tony. So Tony No Name, and that's why I just kept doing that. And I was working in my basement, and through that, my boys would come over to the crib, and they used to be like, oh, man, you a doctor? This is like a lab. That's what it was called. Yeah, it was the lab in the basement. We used to be in the lab,
right?
Getting nice, doing us, having a good time. And I'm in there sewing, doing all the stuff for K.R.I.T, Soul Fusion. We used to do Funk Jazz Cafe, doing stuff for Jason.
Classic parties, man.
Yeah, these are classic parties. But I'm doing the stuff for all the hosts,
right?
And the DJs, DJ Kemet, Marco. And all these boys would call me like, yo, I need a custom piece. Come on, Tone, give me a custom piece. So I started making them custom no-name pieces. But what I realized is that you'll be more excited about wearing a custom no-names piece, but you'll be even more excited if it had your name on it. Hip Hop Daily. You'll be like, yo, word, you gonna bust us out one like that? Yeah. Or I might come and surprise you and be like, yo. You'd be like, yo. I'd be like, yeah. Then, it just started going from there. And we went from the lab, and my boys used to be like, oh, we down here with the doctor, da-da-da-da. And then somebody threw Stich on there, and it was Stich Doctor. And we were still in the lab. And next thing you know, I was like, man, I got to get out of this lab, man. I got to get a gate. Yeah. I had to get a gate. And I was like, man, I looked all over Atlanta, couldn't find no place. I ended up in Little 5 Points. So I went to Little 5 Points, went over there, and still there for about maybe a year. But that was like, wasn't me, It's me, hanging out, but it ain't really wasn't me for business wise. Yeah. And just all of a sudden, opportunity came about downtown, and there was a location, and I went on over there and jumped in on it. And got the spot on Walton Street.
That's what's up.
Which is one block over from Poplar Street.
Right.
So it's like I moved up a little bit, took another, moving on.
Not in the alley no more.
Yeah, not in the alley no more.
Not in the alley.
Left step up.
And my friend, let me just finish off this. And one of my friends, I was like, man, I'm going to call it No Names. And they was like, nah, man, we did that. I was like, nah, man, what? And one of my guys was like, yo, you should just call it Stitches, the home of the Stich Doctor.
Yeah.
That's how we got the name Stitches. He was like, yo, because you got no name, it's going to be all radical. You could be having nooses and all this kind of stuff up in there with stories, and you might not attract to the certain other crowd.
Got you. That's part of hip-hop, really, is fashion. To a large extent. You have so many people that start T-shirt companies and start, want to grow it into bigger fashion brands. As somebody who's been through the trenches and done all sides of the fashion game, man, what piece of advice would you give that you learned to somebody who is trying to grow a fashion company now, especially now that you ain't got to go through stores. You can go directly, online to your consumer. That's what a lot of brands do. So what's your advice now from all the things that you've learned and everything you've been through?
To give someone advice as far as
just if they got, I'm sure there's
come see me. Just come see me. That's the only advice I can tell you. Come see me.
We got listeners all over the world.
Still come see me. Come see me. Come visit me. Email me. Whatever you want to do. Come see me, and I can help you get started.
Okay.
But no, I give you a little advice. I just say, you have to first figure out what is your product. Because everybody wants to have a brand. And if you're having a brand, that's cool, just throwing your logo out there, but is that the product? That's why a lot of brands don't make it, because you're just selling a name, but there's no product. This is a product with a name.
Right.
That makes it a brand of water. Some people just wanted to put their name on something like water or drink on a T-shirt and be like, yo, that's my brand. I'm rocking.
What's the story?
Yeah. And not even what's the story, but I'm just like, that's my brand. It's my T-shirt with the name on it. So I tell guys sometimes, well, if that's the case, if that's what you want to do and that's what you're pushing, then let your brand be known that you are a T-shirt brand.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Be a T-shirt brand if that's what you're going to be. Don't start saying, oh, I want to start now doing jeans and start doing all this woo-woo, because that's not really what you don't see the water saying that it wants to, become a mic. Gotcha. It ain't doing that. Because if it tried, it'll fail. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of times I think what people get misconstrued. Now, so I try to tell people at times like, yo, man, you got to know whatever you're trying to do, make it a product. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got, because product is what the only thing that is you can sell. That and a service. Those are the two things that's making money. And, am I right?
Yeah, no,
yeah.
You're right.
Do you feel like a lot of these brands try to grow too quickly? Like we had 2 or 3 T-shirts pop off. Now we got to do shorts. We got to do jeans. We got to do hats. We got to do socks. We need to do pins. We need to do everything. We need to saturate the market.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not. Well. It all depends on, if you got the demand for it. If you have the demand for it and people want it, hey, go for it. But sometimes you can sell yourself short because if you get too much product and it ain't moving, next thing you know, it becomes sitting around inventory, and next thing you know, you're giving it away.
Right.
And after that, it just becomes a loss. And now you just keep spending money, but you think you're making money because you make money, but you forgot about everything that you've just been giving away.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. I think people are just like giving away just sometimes the product in a way like they're oversaturating themselves.
Gotcha.
They're just oversaturating themselves, just trying to go too far.
Gotcha.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Right now, like, you're doing both. Like, you're doing a product and a service because, you're out here making, you're still making custom pieces for folks. Mm-hmm. I took a look at some of your stuff, man. I want to know this. The piece that stuck out to me the most, I saw a suit that you did for Waka Flocka for the Players Ball.
Oh, wow.
And it was cold. It was cold.
Okay.
I think he's probably one of 5 people that could have pulled that off. You know what I'm saying? So my question is, what are the conversations like, when those kind of pieces come about? Is the person coming to you with a vision? Or are you coming to them with a vision? Or y'all meeting halfway? I'm curious, how, what I'm describing, if you can describe the outfit to the listeners out there that don't have the picture in front of them. Tell them what outfit I'm talking about.
So that was an interesting situation too, because I get a call maybe 3 days in advance or something, 2 days or 3 days in advance. Like, yo, Stich, I need a suit for the Players Ball. Okay. Well, it got to be red and it got to be this or that, something such and such. And then Tammy's telling him and telling me, and we're all talking, trying to come up with this idea. And I'm like, what? He got to match your dress. And they got this certain look. That's one day we're just discussing and just talking, just going over some stuff. And then the next day or 2 days later, it's the Players Ball. He's like, yo, I need this Stich. I need it. Ooh, I had to go out buy fabric, get stuff together. And I showed them some mad pictures. Boom, that's it. Everybody was like, that's it. Okay, I'll buy it. And I jet, go to the shop. Boom, it bust butt. Got to stay up maybe a day, rocking, trying to get on it. They came by, tried it on. Okay, fit. Ooh. He stayed there at the shop until that thing was done. That's what was funny. I was like, yo, dude, you can go and come back. It's like, nah, Tammy. It was like, no, we staying on this one. You ain't going to have us here all night. And it was so funny because I go to park my car. I give him my parking spot. I come back. I think he was in there helping a customer or something.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I was like, yo. He's like, oh, yeah, sure. But, sure. It's just funny, though. But,
yeah, Waka's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude, right? You know what I'm saying?
Real cool dude.
So, when you're making these kind of fits, is it, I'll paint a scenario for you. I remember one time I was at a barbershop. I was hella young. And, a kid was in the shop. Mom was like, yeah, give him, and I'm not lying when I say this, I want you to fade it on the side, but leave a shag and have a tail coming out in the back and then give him a part. And the barber was like, nah, I ain't doing no ugly shit like that, cause then he gonna go to school and folks gonna be like, who cut your hair? And they gonna say I did it, and now my name messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a designer, like, do you run into those situations too where somebody's like, bro, I know something crazy. I want you to put the pink and the yellow in here with the turquoise and then throw a bird on there. Like, do you ever have to be like, nah, cause folks gonna say who did that?
Never. I never think that. I mean, because I've learned a long time ago when we used to work on some stuff with Future and the Free Band Gang with a friend, a guy we used to work with called Rich Lavish. And Rich Lavish used to help do all of their behind the scenes, like sewing and all their clothes we used to do. It was a good time back to. They came with some crazy stuff, man. And I used to be like, yo. But he's from the South Side.
Yeah. And
it's funny, I was like, man, I don't know. Y'all boys out here in the South, y'all gotta be matchy and all this. Red, gotta match the red, the blue, the black. I was like, dude, purple. But now, that whole Atlanta wave, if it's the South Side, West Side, I don't know what it is. You know, I rock with them though, but you know, they got some wild stuff going on, man. Peacocks on coats and all kind of crazy stuff. And you know, I just be like, all right, that's what you want. Yo, that's what you want. Like my guy Big A, you know, Big A, he's a promoter. He throws parties and stuff for Rick Ross and all of those for over at Mansion. He likes some wild stuff.
He be fresh though.
I do all of the stuff to keep him fresh.
Okay,
let's just put it like that.
Fresh. I worked with him like years ago on some music stuff. Long time ago.
I do all of his stuff to make a big guy look good.
Yeah, you know? Man, he be fresh. He definitely be fresh. I'll give him that for sure. You know? So for you, what is the wildest request, whether it been the actual clothing or we have 15 minutes until this show, we need you to make us this outfit? What's been the craziest request you have got?
I mean, we did a lot because we worked on film too. Gotcha. So I work on movies. But the wildest thing, I mean, it's like so many. It's like, ooh.
Or the most recent wild.
Let's see, wildest thing. Let me think. Oh, well, I got this guy. He went to prison, and I got two things. I'll tell you two of them.
All right.
I got one was this guy. He's going to prison, and he knew he was going to prison, and so he was like, "Yo," I said, "Well, when you leaving, man?" I said, "You know, you're supposed to be going to prison. You're supposed to have been gone by now, you know." He was like, "Nah, man. You know, I want to make sure when I come out, I gotta have the hottest shit on the street maybe 2 years from now." He said, "I need you to think futuristic, so come on, let's go." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yo, we got some crazy shit. I made the shit for him. That shit is bananas. And when he come out, if we on that wave, I'm gonna be tripping." But I mean, it's fly though. It's fly. We stretched the limit a little bit, you know. That one's kind of wild. That one was wild. But
I don't know why I'm envisioning like
trying to make something you think that's gonna be stylish.
When Marquise Houston came out that time with that see-through suit, I don't know why I'm envisioning something like
hilarious.
Yeah,
let's hope that don't come out.
So it's something wild. I'm excited about that. And then also too, one of the wildest things was one time Jeezy's son came to me like, "Yo, my pops and them was trying to find a jacket that's cashmere and white with fur on it, black fur on it, to something like that." And I was like, "I ain't got no white coat here. I'm ready to just hang up the phone." He's like, "Nah, we need you to make it." I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Nah, Stich, yo, man, we need you to make it. Yo." I said, "Okay, well, when you need it, man, we fly out tomorrow at 8:00 in the morning."
Oh wow!
It's already right now 6 p.m. I gotta have this joint done by 8 in the morning. I'm like, man, yo, dog, I can't. I don't know what I could do. He says, "I'll be there in a minute." Came through, bread. We need the jacket. I was like, damn. Pressure on.
Right.
You know, you see the money. It's just like, damn. You know. I said, "Fuck it, let's go." I ran looking for fabric and shit. This was buying shit. I had to get. They didn't even want it fur. on the fur here.
Yeah.
I got to go try to find. And next thing that's what I'm looking at. The time is going against me because now I'm running around doing all this. Now I got to try. I'm trying to get to the mall because I can't find no fur that I like. I said, fuck, I just got to go buy a fur coat.
Right.
And just cut that bitch up and just make fur collar, make the whole nine. Luckily, I found this one ladies store I was able to go into. They had like some fur coats in there, little sweater joints, whatever vest. I bought 4 of them joints. Spent a nice little amount of money. I was like, damn, and bounced and went. So now I'm at 9, and I just got 9 hours to go, and and then they came and got it at like maybe 10. And I'm done. I'm done with the jacket. But I just wanted to, just do a few little things, like press it, do a whole bunch of stuff. So they come in, man, we gotta go, we gotta catch a flight. Whoa, we got this, and it's New Year's Eve.
Man, they tripping now. It
was New Year's Eve while this shit's all going on.
So you like, I can't have no fun.
No. It was New Year's the day that they came is New Year's Eve. They came on the 30th. He's performing for the New Year's Eve party.
Okay.
So it's New Year's Day, so people hitting me, boom. I'm like, yo, I'm sweating, man. I'm tripping out, and it was the funniest thing. He comes, he says, man, dang, I don't know if it's gonna fit him, it ain't gonna look right. Dang, well, he may not rock it, but I'm just gonna whatever tone. I was like, man, all right, whatever. He sounded a little like discouraged. So then went on, did my thing. Next day, everybody calling me like, yo, you did that jacket? I was like, what jacket? The one he rocked out at the Detroit, his concert, boom. He come out, he got the jacket on it. I was like, nice. So, you get crazy stuff, It's, like I said, even the time when I told you Rick Ross and them people came through, I thought I was about to get robbed.
Yeah.
That was why we was just in the store hanging out like this, and somebody goes, knocks on the door, boom, and I'm like, my friends is like, we all in like the chill. I'm doing some work for somebody, and they bust in like, we need some shirts to get done. We need some shirts, some dudes. I didn't even know who they was. Some goon dudes. I was like, dude, it was Ace. That's one of they that's in the song. And I was like, dude, we like, I said, yo, man, I need to get some shirts. And I'm like, this is like 10 o'clock at night. Right. They come in talking about some shirts. They like, yo, like, man. I was like, yo, dude, we ain't making no shirts. Nah, man, I heard y'all make shirts, man. I'm like, yo, he says, yo, I need you to make some shirts for Rick Ross and all of us, man. Me and Chains and all of us tomorrow, man. I was like, dude, man. So I just kind of was like, felt uncomfortable. So I was like, yo, I just told my people, yo, we got to go. We're closing. Let's move to the door. And he was like, dude. And I go outside, I see the little Sprinter.
Gotcha.
I seen the Sprinter. I was like, okay, maybe this could be true. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, but my heart was like, boom, boom. Because, you never know how cats may try you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. So, I was like, yo, did their little project for them, knock that out. Yeah. So, you just got to be creative. And they wanted some wild stuff. I'm sure. A little video, so it's all in fun, It's all in fun.
It's like at this point we know that you have like a brand name. You are the Stich Doctor or Stich. It's like, what is a professional term for it? Because like, are people coming up to you like, hey man, I heard you. I'm looking for a seamstress. You know what I'm saying?
Now they say OG. They say hey. Okay. They say hey OG.
Gotcha.
Now you thought I was still young. I still think I'm young. I'll be like, yo, man. But
is there a way for people that anything that you do, whether it be a certain stitch or a logo or something that identifies your work on the custom pieces you do?
Yeah, I put our logo on it. I don't got it on this. Oh, you got here the cross. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You see the cross with the sewing machine in it. Mm-hmm. That's one, and then we have a Swerve script logo that says Stich Doctor. Okay. As well.
Yeah, because I'm sure, people not going to automatically know unless they're really looking. As a creative and somebody that, like you said, an OG in the game, how does it feel to see high fashion finally recognize what y'all have been doing in the streets and for artists and for influencers for years, i.e. the whole Dapper Dan situation with him finally getting recognized? How does it feel for you to see that?
That's big. Dapper Dan's older than me, so I ain't got to that point yet. I look up to him. He's great inspiration to me. Reese Malone, great inspiration. K.R.I.T, Mark Echo, all those guys. I literally spoke. We talked, had conversations, but they don't really do custom. They just do like a brand, but they still are seamstresses and tailors and all that stuff too. But I think it's good, like seeing what Off-White is doing and how everything is like going good with the whole fashion industry. Everybody's on the urban, but this has been us anyways. So this ain't nothing new now, But what's really bringing it to light is that the whole Atlanta, South, I think it's us over here. I ain't gonna lie. This whole thing that's going on in the Southeast is like everybody over here just doing them. Like they putting on some plaid pants, what maybe a lime green shirt with some dunks on or something that might be yellow and whatever, and they just like, I'm swagging on this today, this is just how I'm doing it, and they feel comfortable walking the streets like, this is how I am, and it's like, they're not worried about nobody judging them or nothing like that. Or like I said, I got Big 8. I made him a big old pink sequence coat, and I was like, dude, it's big, it's banging. But he bought some pink shoes to match.
Of course,
some shoes that some Bajellos or
some Bajellos.
Something. I started to mess it up though. Whoever that is, Bajellos or whatever.
$700 sneakers.
Yes, he bought something to go with him and all of this, and I was like, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? And so I seen how he did it. So and even me sometimes when I go out, I don't care. I throw some crazy stuff on here in Atlanta and just go out rocking it like, I'm swagging right now, like, But I might not wear that when I go up north though. Sometimes I gotta watch how I come through,
different flavor for different places.
Yes.
Most definitely. Is there a particular person, whether they're famous or not, that you have not got a chance to do a piece for that you would love to dress them for something?
Someone famous that I would say I would like to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, B, man. I've been very blessed in this game. I've got some major people I've done some stuff for, and I feel the Creator just sends me on my journey, and I'm just gonna continue to meet whomever. I think like if I make stuff for you, you're just as much as a greater person than if it is someone. So I look at everybody as the same. Opportunity. Like I don't really trip out on. We just throw out names just because that's what the public is familiar with.
Right.
But I get excited just like if it would have been somebody else, for a customer that came and said, "Yo, here goes, it's the money," and I could do it. I'll stay up all night trying to get them that satisfaction. So I really don't. That's kind of hard for me in that play. I've been blessed to have crazy opportunities and got crazy calls and say, hey, you've been highly recommended, we want you to come work on our set, we want you to come do this, we want you to come do work on a magazine. So and then I get there and it's a celebrity, so I don't really I can't think of nobody who would probably be like, unless they be like, you know what, I want you to be my stylist. Now that's a different story.
Gotcha.
Now if you ask me if somebody I like to style and say like, I want you to be my stylist, not just make me one piece, I need you to rock with me for like a year. Let's see how you can get me flavor. And if he says that, I'll be like, that might be somebody like maybe Lenny Kravitz or something like that, or somebody whose imagination is open, or
Okay.
That's somebody I'm looking for that now too. Like just to style, just basically be a stylist. But everybody thinks that somewhat I'm kind of like just a seamstress or a tailor. So
Gotcha. Before we go, we got to talk about your latest venture.
Okay.
The tote and carry.
The tote and carry bags.
Bag line. Not a lot of cats go into the accessories lane, man. What pushed you there? And the stuff is fly, man.
Thank you.
It's a nice look.
Thank you. What pushed me to the tote and carry? Well, basically, I was working with. I was making my own bags. About 2-3 years ago, I was just making bags, just making bags, and before anybody even got on the wave of doing bags. And what happened was, I had a friend of mine's. One of my business partners, he happened to come in town, and he was I was trying to link him up to do a job for 50 cents in the effing vodka. So I was trying to get him to do the hats overseas for the 50 cents brand effing vodka. So in the process of trying to do that, I could never. He wanted to get the manufacturing deal. I couldn't directly get him the deal, but he was like, "Oh, maybe I can get a chance to get close to him at an event." You know, he's an Asian guy, and you know, make a long story short, he came to town. He had done stuff for like 2 Chainz and the manufacturing and stuff like that, and some other people. And he came and got with me, and just so happened we come over here. He's like, "I want to go to see 2 Chainz," and we come over here to go see Chainz. They wouldn't let him in or something to some party that they had at the little restaurant or something.
Right, Escobar, yeah.
But I didn't know that. So I go over there to try to see where he at. I go in the inside.
Right.
And he's on the outside. And he's like, where the hell is this boy at? You know, he outside looking stupid. So I come outside, I'm seeing you. Yo, what up, Tom? Hey, what up, Stich? You know, Atlanta's a small community, so everybody's saying what up to everybody.
Right.
He's like, dude, you know everybody around here. And in the process of that, trying to get them to do the hats, he sees that I know people here in Atlanta, and he was like, man, that's maybe what Atlanta might need. Is a breakout designer, a real true designer. Why don't you, man, just break out do your own thing, dude? And I was like, no, I did that with the no names. I'm just kind of chill. I like what I'm doing. He was like, okay, all right, cool. So in the process, we go to the store. And we go to the store, he sees the bags. Once he saw the bags, he was like, that's it, fuck that that going to do the hat stuff. I want to do these bags with you. Whatever name you want to come up with, however you want to design it, I'm willing to help, you know, manufacture it for you. You know, how much you selling one bag for? I was selling one bag back then of my own Stich Doctor bags for like $300, $400. But it'll take me like maybe 4 days to make one bag,
right.
You know, because I'm custom. I'm really getting it on it like that. He was like, yo, we'll just get a brand and, you know, we could maybe get that price down to half of that. And woo. I went over to China, experienced that, went over to Taiwan and all that stuff, bought the fabric. We went and they put me in heaven, like as far as fabric, dude. It was crazy.
Right.
Because to be here and go to a fabric store and you go to a whole city, it's the fabric.
Right.
You know, it was crazy, man. It was like the whole city was fabric. I'm literally like from here to everywhere you go, it's fabric. Trinkets and zippers and buttons and this and that. Ooh. Then you got sewers and all this stuff, and it made me go off, man. I went off. They was like, whoa, where this guy come from? And I was like, oh yeah, where you guys at? We met, and that's how I came up with that product, man. And I named it Tote and Carry. You know, about real diligent about what the name should be. Came up with the name, and you know. And I also too have another division that's going to be coming after that. So I have the Tote and Carry bags, but I'm having another bag series coming, and another brand just called Anthony Dennis.
Okay.
You know, it's going to be like a little bit more just exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
You know. Yeah.
So how can people get in touch with you, man? How can they support and get your products and whatnot?
They can reach me online, DM me or whatever on Instagram or Facebook, or they can email me, or they can go to the Tote and Carry website.
You gotta tell them all that.
I know, don't worry, I'm gonna get to it. I'm just giving them all the options. you know we have to give them the, you know. Of course, they can reach me at The Real Stich Doctor. That's on IG, The Real Stich Doctor. Or you can reach me at Stich's Design Studio online as well. That's our IG and our Twitter. Also too is Stich's ATL, or you can reach me via email. Just send me an email if you want to stitchesatl@yahoo.com, or you can send it to me also too at stitchesdesignstudio43@gmail.com. And if you're interested in the Tote and Carry, you can go directly to our Tote and Carry website page and send me an email directly in the Tote and Carry at www.toteandcarry.com.
For sure. Most definitely, man. We appreciate you coming through.
I appreciate
man.
you,
This is a
man.
great talk.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully y'all got some game out of this.
Yeah.
Aspiring designers and manufacturers and whatnot.
Yeah, I hope I was able to help out.
We appreciate y'all listening, appreciate y'all watching. Make sure that you subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast. And make sure you watch all the other shows on Live Hip Hop Daily as well. We'll see y'all next week with another dope show. Peace.